There are 4 secret habits that frugal people use to help them save more money.
What sets frugal people apart from others is the way that they think about money.
Now today we're going to share 4 easy ways that you can change your mindset, and these will help you begin to save money right away. And then we want to make sure that you stick with us, because at the end we are going to give you a bonus tip. And this tip is going to help you pull all the other tips together, and this will help saving money seem like second nature to you.
Hi, I'm Larry.
And I'm Hope.
And we love sharing ways to spend less and save more.
We talk about practical frugality. Welcome to Under the Median. Let's get started. The first thing that frugal people consistently do that helps them to save more money is...
we automate our money. What do you mean by automate our money?
Look, if your paycheck is coming to you every single week and you're physically handling it, if you will just take that extra step and have your employer automatically deposit that paycheck into your bank account, you actually will save more money. Why? Because what we don't handle, we don't spend. It's real easy to get paid on a Friday, and all of a sudden you think, ooh, we can go out, we can buy pizza, we can have fun with friends, we can spend money, we can do all kinds of fun things because the money is in your hand. But what we don't handle, we don't spend. So make sure that everything you can automate, you do automate. What else can they automate, Larry?
Well, you can automate your bill paying process. That's another thing that you can automate. I think we got to do that. You can automate your investments, and that way you're really not even seeing it coming out of your paycheck.
We automate all of our investments. It's automatically taken out of our savings account every single month and faithfully invested every single month. We don't see it, we don't miss it, but we invest it.
You can also automate your savings, and that means you can have a plan where a certain amount of money from your savings is put into certain accounts. We have this set up with our investor. We have an account set up for saving for cars. We had an account set up, I believe, for saving for our son's college at one time. So you can actually delineate how you want your savings to be set up, and you don't have to do a thing. It's automatically done for you.
Some banks and some credit unions will allow you to have as many sub-accounts as you want under your main account. And one thing that we've talked about consistently on this channel that this works really, really well in is sinking funds. So if you want to know what sinking funds are, you're kind of confused, we're going to make sure there's a link to our video on sinking funds. We'll make sure that we link it in the description of this video.
The second point is we don't fool ourselves.
We are honest with ourselves about where our money is going. Now, sometimes that's not always easy.
Sometimes it's painful.
Because we don't always, spend our money the way that we wished we had spent our money. But honestly, it doesn't do you any good to hide your head in the sand and say, I don't want to know. I don't want to know what I just did. I don't want to know the effect it had on my savings account. I just don't want to know. That doesn't help. You have to be absolutely brutally forthright with yourself and with your partner or your spouse. If you have a partner or a spouse, you have to be open with them.
Ignorance about your money will get you into a lot of trouble. Trust us. We've actually done this. We've done it from time to time. It's so much better to plan, know where it's going, know how much you have left. Another point within this is stop putting temptation in front of yourselves. And the best way to do that is to stay off online places where you'd be tempted to spend money. Stay out of stores if you're tempted, or maybe take only a certain amount of cash with you that you're going to spend on items that are on your list that you've made it a point and planned on buying.
A great way to do that is to unsubscribe. Yes, Wayfair, I am talking to you. If that Wayfair ad coming into your email every single day going, look, rugs are on sale. Ooh, lamps are on sale. Bedspreads are on sale. Yeah, it is. It's a giant buy me, flashing in front of your face. If it's a problem, go ahead and unsubscribe. But don't unsubscribe from us, guys, because we're giving you sound advice that's helping you save money. In fact, if you're not subscribed, it's a great idea to subscribe to the channel.
And like this video if you're enjoying it.
All right, here's another thing you can do. Adopt a get in and get out attitude at the grocery store.
You know, that's my favorite strategy for shopping.
It truly
I want to
is.
have a list. I go straight for that item. I put it in the cart, go to the next item, put it in the cart, next item, and then I check out, done, out the door, in the car, on my way home.
Larry is the ultimate hunter-gatherer when it comes to shopping. He just wants to go out, snag the deal, pull it in, and then put it on his shoulder and take it to the car. Literally, that is it. But it's a great way to save money if you go in knowing what you're shopping for, knowing what you're willing to spend, and you get in and get out, because stores are not silly people. They know that the longer you're in the store, the longer you walk around like me going, oh, that's kind of cool, you're going to wind up spending more money.
Yeah, and don't get sidetracked with all of their little leader items that they have out in the middle of the aisles. It's really easy to, as you're on your way getting that thing that's on your list, you see another item that looks, oh, so good. That will keep you from having a good savings account.
Here's another way that we don't fool ourselves when it comes to our money, and that is we are really willing to figure out what's working and what's not, and to get rid of what's not working and figure out a different thing that we can try that will hopefully work that time. But we are really willing to look very critically at our own bank account, our own savings account, and our own spending habits and figure out how to change what isn't working.
Yeah. And finally, along the heading of we don't fool ourselves, don't be afraid to make changes. If you see something that's not working for you, change it. That's how you're going to get a difference going in your savings account.
Here is the third thing that frugal people do that consistently helps them to save more money. And that is that we have deliberately chosen to pivot to a no-spend lifestyle. Look around you. All you see are reasons to spend money, and all you seem to see are people who enjoy spending money. But we have decided to go against the grain, and we've decided to say we are not going to be rule followers. We're going to break the rules and say, nope, we're going to choose when, where, and how we spend our money, and it may not be on what everybody else is spending their money on. We pivot.
And make savings your priority. Make that more important than finding things to just buy. It's so easy to find just that one item or this other little item that I need. Do you really need it? Make a second choice at that. Take a second hard look at the things that you are tempted to buy and ask yourself, do you really need it?
One of the things that we really have done throughout 30 years of saving money together and reaching goals, great big goals together, is that we have always kept that goal in front of us. And we've said, you know what? Yes, spending money here might feel good in the short run, but in the long run, we really want whatever that thing is. It's like when you decide to lose weight, you know, that crumb cake might look really good, but nothing feels as good, can I get an amen, ladies, than walking in that dressing room, trying on that size 10 and going, yeah, baby, it fits. That's what feels good. Focus on that end point and where you want to get to.
Do you know why I call it crumb cake?
No.
It makes you feel crummy after you eat it.
It doesn't.
It does too. Make budgeting, paying off your debt, and savings a priority.
So that, once again, is the second point under pivoting to a no-spend lifestyle. We pay attention to things that are our priorities. If saving money is a priority to you, you will pay more attention to it. The other thing you want to do is get all the family members on board the savings train. That's right. You want to make sure you get your kids involved in here's how we are choosing to spend our money, and we're saving, and here's the goal we're saving for. We had our kids totally involved in goals, family goals.
You know, the things that you focus on are the things you're going to head toward. It's really true when you're driving. If you have your eyes down the road, you're going to be going down the road. But if you get your eyes off the road, guess where you're going to be heading? So if your eyes are on savings, that's where your focus is, then that's what you're going to do. You're going to start saving.
Okay, totally true story. When I was learning to drive, I was a terrible beginning driver. And I mean terrible. I'm actually a pretty good driver now.
She's
but
a really good driver
I
now.
was horrible. I had no idea what the heck I was doing. And that poor driving instructor, you know, they always have a brake on their side. And he was like pumping that brake all the time to keep me from hurting us. And so the first time I ever went around a corner, there was a car sitting there and I started heading toward it. And he put his brake on his side and he looked at me. He said, "Where were you looking?" I said, "Well, I was looking at the other car." And he said, "That's why you went toward the other car. You go where you are looking. Stop looking at the other car. Pay attention to your lane. You will stay in your lane and you'll stop weaving over to where those other people are."
I like that.
Lesson learned. All right. Now, the next point under a no-spend lifestyle is that you need to have a weekly spending plan. It's always a great idea to start the week out, even if you get just a blank calendar. They're cheapo to like print off the internet, or around the first of the year, you can go to like banks and other places that give away free calendars and just write into each of the spaces throughout the week how much money you're planning to spend that day. If there are bills that are coming due, go ahead and write those in. A weekly spending plan is a way cool way to know about what you plan to spend that week.
By the way, talking about free calendars, you can get a free calendar online. It's just a straight basic calendar. No pictures. You can add your own pictures later, I guess. But that's what I do. It's free. And then you can fill in the blanks in that calendar and start planning your week.
Yeah, you just download it and print it off, right?
That's right.
Yeah, and
It's
if
free.
you print it off back and front, you're only talking about 6 pieces of paper.
Yeah.
All right, no unplanned restaurant meals, evening out with friends. If you're going to do that, make sure it's on your spending plan, guys, at the first of the week. You should plan those things ahead of time. Then you have a plan and work it. Work the plan. Don't keep changing the plan every time it suits you. Make sure if you have that spending plan at the first of the week that you stick with it at least till the end of the week. What's the worst thing that can happen? You can tell your friends, "I'm sorry, maybe next week I'll join you for dinner." Because you know what? Next week you had the opportunity to put it on your spending plan at the first of the week.
You know, another thing you can do too is make a list of things that you can do without spending money. My gosh, there's so many free things that you can do. If you have friends over, you can play a game. You can just
Oh my
talk.
gosh, it's so much fun. Guys, tell us what your favorite board games are.
There are so
Yes.
many of them out there, and I bet you've got a bunch in the closet you haven't even gotten out in years. But there are just so many things. We love, when we were dating, we went for hikes, we went to the parks, we watched movies that I recorded. It didn't cost a whole lot of money. We didn't spend a lot of money because we didn't have a lot of money.
The fourth thing that frugal people do that really helps us to consistently save more money is that we have adopted something else. So we just told you we adopted a no-spend lifestyle. Here's something else we adopt. We adopt a 24 or even sometimes a 48-hour waiting period before making major purchases. I know. Boom. That's it.
That will keep you
Yep.
from doing what we all can easily fall into, the habit of impulse buying. So in fact, we'll even wait longer than a week. If it's a major purchase, I'll just spend the time researching, research until I'm done. And while we're doing that, we're saving up our money. So we're hitting two birds with one stone. While I'm researching, I'm focusing on that item. I'm not focusing on going and buying it. I'm focusing on finding the very best possible item for the money. You want to get the best out of the money. We all work hard for it. And money doesn't go as far now as it used to.
doesn't.
I mean, that is so
It really
true,
doesn't.
especially in 2022.
Make sure you stick with us for a bonus point, guys. We're going to finish real quick explaining the 24 to 48-hour rule, give you a couple more examples. What that 48-hour rule does is it gives you a chance to do two things, because there's a certain euphoria that is related with spending money. It's like a hit of dopamine in your brain. It feels good. I think we all have to admit that. But it allows us to come down from that dopamine for a minute and say, wait a minute. Do I really need this? I almost made this mistake, and it would have been a horrible mistake last week. There was a bundle that was for sale that I really, really wanted. I asked Larry about it. He's like, yeah, if you want it, go buy it. It was $50. It was not, a make or break deal. But the more I looked at it and the longer I waited, I knew I had 48 more hours to make a decision. The more I thought, wait a minute, am I going to really use this? Do I need it? Are there other things sitting around the house, other books, other ebook resources, other resources that I have at my disposal that will help me to achieve the same goal without spending the $50. And ultimately, I had to be honest with myself and say, you know what? it would be fine to get this, but I probably don't need it. And I chose not to buy it.
You know, I did that very same thing just this afternoon.
Really?
I was at a meeting where the speaker was offering some of his reading material. He had about 3 books. They were $15 each. And I looked at the table and I thought about all the books I have at home. I mean, a lot of books I have at home that I have not even cut open the pages to yet. And I thought, I don't need to buy another book. I need to read the ones that I have. And I want to give another little example about this kind of impulse buying and taking some time to really think about whether you want the item. Hope and I used to attend an auction at a little small town about, I think it was about 30 miles north of us. And they had an auction every Saturday night. And we went to a couple of their auctions. We didn't go to them all the time. But auctions develop a kind of a spender's frenzy. When you have 2 or 3 bidders working on an item, they seem to forget about how much the item's worth. And they get into this win or lose match, whether who's going to win here, and they don't even care after a while what they're bidding. They just want to win that auction. And I remember we did this so often. We would look at each other after somebody spent a ridiculous amount of money on some item, and I would look at Hope and I go, I wonder what they're going to say when they get home, if they're going to say, oh, I wish we hadn't bought that item.
He's like, tomorrow morning, they're going to regret that. I'm just saying. So
yeah, because the frenzy's gone. Now they're faced with how much money they really spent on the item. Our rule was we would look at the items. We might eye 1 or 2 things that they had at the auction. We would take a certain amount of money, cash, with us, and we would set a top dollar amount and stick to it.
And it was hard sometimes because there were things we really wanted. And you find yourself thinking, if I just go up that one more, just raise your hand one more time, I'm going to win the bid. And pretty soon you're bid up way beyond what you even dreamed that you were going to pay for that item. So we had a hard and fast rule. We decided ahead of time, this is our top dollar. And boy, we really stuck to it.
It's interesting how I think so many people just get involved in that thing. We always felt better after we got home by not spending that money. Later we would, after everything's kind of cooled off, we think, I'm so glad we didn't bid any higher on that item. So that's another good thing to do.
So those are the 4 things that we really feel like frugal people consistently do. Those are their habits that help them to save more money. But we promised you a bonus habit. Now, this is something that we've talked to you about before. We do it consistently, and we highly recommend that you do it too. Are you ready for the bonus? Can I do my drum roll? All right.
Go for it.
Love my drum roll. All right, you can tell them what it is.
Okay, we do the 10% challenge.
All right, what is the 10% challenge? You're going to grab your partner by the hand. Yep, grab your partner by the hand. And you are going to sit down and you are going to have all your budget categories in front of you. And you're going to set the timer for 20 minutes and you're going to brainstorm ways that you can lower each of your budget categories by just 10%. That's why we call it the 10% challenge. You will be amazed how many ideas you can come up with between the 2 of you that will help you to lower that budget category. And in fact, guys, we have a testimonial. One of our viewers just contacted me and she said she and her husband just did it. So Carolyn and her husband just did the 10% challenge a couple of weeks ago. Here's what she wrote. I have just started going bill by bill and seeing what I could do. As you can see, I haven't finished yet, but I have an overall annual savings of, ready guys, $1,300 so far. Loved doing this. Very exciting. Husband thinks I am the best wife ever. And we haven't been married a year yet. Woo!
That's awesome.
Carolyn, so excited for you and your husband. The 10% challenge. Do it. It works, guys. If you do it, we want to know how it works for you. Tell us in the comment section. After you do the 10% challenge, it's a great time to ask yourself if you can cancel some of those subscriptions you have. Yeah, I'm talking to you, that maybe you aren't actually using, and make a list of items that you need to get new estimates on, like your insurance, your cable television, or even your phone bill. Now, if you want more help from us, there are actually 10 unique things that frugal people do that help them to save more money. We just did a video on it 2 weeks ago. It's right over there, and you want to watch that video next.
And we like to talk about frugality and ways that you can save money. And we stumble around, Steph, because we don't know what the heck we're talking about. Why don't you tune into Prepper Princess?